Hello and welcome to this demonstration for Busbars for final circuits. This will help you complete your final circuit tap-off units and that for your projects. So to start off with, if you review the setting up families for Revit, you'll be able to understand this a bit better. So I'm going to quickly just show that here. I'm going to double click into this Revit family. I've got this from the MK catalog and I've taken this device. I've just quickly saved the project quickly. I've changed this to electrical component, a panel board, and I've just changed it to one column. I've also set the power as unbalanced and I've put it as a number of poles as 1. Change this load classification to power and set the 230. Just load this back into the project. So I'm just going to put this back into the system browser. So this is the item in question here. And these are all the associated bits that I'm going to do except for the 2 3-phase sockets. Right, so the first thing I'm going to do is I want to assign this item to ProDesign 3D and I want to go into the edit component item. And I've already changed this to an infeed. This was originally a distribution board, so I'm going to change this to an infeed as I've shown here. You'll notice there's no data available for this component, but it does make the connection for the infeed. The other items I'm going to do is I'm going to assign the tap-off unit. So this would be the 13 amp socket within each of the plug-in units. So within here, I'm going to select this tap-off unit, which is over here. I'm going to go into ProDesign 3D. And I'm just going to edit these to say that they're a tap-off, which I've already done in this example. And I've done this in each scenario here. So we'll just check to make sure we've done them. So everything's been changed on here. Something to note is please check the distribution system. So this distribution system is 230 over here, which is correct. I need to change all of these as well. And the reason for this is I've set the system up wrong for the tap-off. So I'm just going to go into here. Let's select this and change this to 1. And I'm going to just take that off. Change it to 230. Apply that. I'm going to load this back into the project. Override the existing parameters. So you can see here now I've changed these to 230 volt single. So I'm just going to go back into here now quickly. And I'm going to change these to 230. Notice I've not assigned any of these to power yet. I've now assigned everything to power. So the first thing I need to do is make this connection to the distribution board. So I'm going to select this item here. I'm going to power the item and I'm going to say I don't want it to connect to there. I want to connect it to a local board. So I'm going to select the panel and I'm going to select this panel here. So unfortunately I've not made enough slots on this. So all we need to do is go down to here and I'm just going to increase this to 30 just to make sure we have enough. I'm going to go into back in here and then we're going to select this slot and connect it. And now that connection's been made. So you can see here, this is the local board. There were 3-phase connections on here already. I've made one single phase connection. And this is the unit here. The next item I'm going to do is I'm just going to connect these tap-offs. So I want this tap-off to connect to this unit here. And then we're going to go in a much similar way to the distribution system. And we're going to connect this up. And we're going to go to the next one. Power that, and then we're going to select that. We're going to power that. There's a little thing. And make that connection. So I'm just going to expand this all out to show this in the system browser. So as you can see, everything's made the connection. I would suggest that you go into each of these and just give them a quick name. So we'll call this T1. T2, T2, T3, T4. Right, now that we have our connection units in place, just expand these all out. Now I need to make the connections for the ring circuits to each of these boards, which would be a floor box. I've just connected it to the board, to the desks at the moment, but these can be floor boxes, and you can manage it in the same way. So we're going to select this item here, we're going to power it, and I'm going to select this tap off here, and then I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to power this one, and then I'm going to select this one. Power this, and select this, and then finally we're going to select this power unit, and we're going to select this. One of the items to note is in between each of these items, so we can go into here, just go into edit circuit, and you'll notice the connections are made between here and here. We just need to expand these a bit just to make sure we get the right lengths between them, and we'll go do the same in this one. That one's okay, and all the others should be the same because it's a nice straight connection. There's not too much raising or lifting of the devices. Oh, we should check the offset on that, so we want that to be 0. Or you're going to get some really weird readings coming through. So we just go into that one. Again, we just want to set that to 0. Just check this one as well. We just want to set that and that to 0. And last one, we want to just check through. That one's okay. Right, so we've sorted all those out. And you can do the same things with the cables, just if you need to do a check, which is quite possible that they're doing the same thing. So as you can appreciate, you would set these all up and you get those correct. But you can go into each of these components. So if you want to edit the busbar, you can edit the busbar. So this has been put as a zucchini type, so that result will give you that information. And you can work through this. So one thing, as I've mentioned in the distribution one, just check your connections. So this one needs to be a cable. We're just going to make this a 4E4. Otherwise you will get a validation issue in your system. Just expand this one out. And then as long as all the other connections are correct. So this connection here is a buzz bar, which is correct. But this one here is also a buzz bar. Now you will get a validation issue, and we'll just show that as we run through. You should have a validation issue on this particular system. Yep, so it's telling you there's a validation issue, buzzbar cannot be connected. And it's identified the board where the issue lies. And we know it's over here, so I'm just going to change it over here. And I'm going to change this to a 4E4. I'm then going to rerun this calculation. So you need to connect to the correct phase of the panel. So as you can see here, we have an error occurring when correcting the internal circuits thing. This is due to the way Revit handles single phase equipment. So to help resolve this issue, we've kind of given a hint into that. So we're going to go into tap off 1 here, and I'm just going to edit the schedule on here. I'm going to move this down 1. I'm just going to save the project. And this is because of the way the panel schedules are held within Revit with this A and B system. So I'm now going to close this. And knowing this in advance, I'm going to go to each of these circuits here. Ooh. Helps if I use the right buttons. I'm going to create a schedule, just go into the default, and I'm just going to move this down 1. Go back into here. Create the schedule, use the default, move this down. And we make this connection all the way through. So this is on 1, so this one shouldn't need anything done. I'm going to rerun this calculation again. And again, we've got other issues for the distribution system.